Imagine living in the middle of the outback and having to try and send your kids to school. Well, today's video, we look at that and how there is a bus helping these children.
A school bus going the extra mile for its community. In the outback town of Stonehenge, getting a school bus service into gear in 2020 opened doors for local kids.
I want to make this point. It seems really weird on what we would call a Western civilization, right? I think that's Australia would be called that. It's weird to think how far away people are from basic civilization, I suppose. I know how big the outback is, but it's still amazing with all the technology, with all the new transports. I say new transports, just old transports that are sort of faster. That we, people and children still live so far away from basic amenities, things like shops, schools, and things like that, and hospitals. It's just amazing to think, and how important though that things like these buses are to these children who want to go to school. Sorry, the video hadn't even properly started yet. Just...
For years, the Laidler family on Kapakai Station, 100 kilometres north of town, juggled running a sheep property and distance education for their 4 girls.
We couldn't find a governess to teach 4 kids. They're pretty hard to come by. So it was me, and then, my husband works away 70% of the time, so I need to be able to get outside. So when I was teaching, I couldn't do both.
So when the possibility arose, the Laidlers seized the opportunity to send their kids to school on the bus, even if it meant still having to drive 30 kilometres down their driveway to get to their stop.
Sorry, did they just say 30 kilometres to the end of their driveway? Well, I can tell you my driveway, I don't actually have a driveway, but from the front of my door to the road is about 5 metres. So I don't necessarily have the same thing. I want to know, 30 kilometres is 18.6 miles. That's not a driveway. That's insane. That is insane. But you can understand why the lady wants to send her children to school. If they work on a cattle station, there must be so much work to do. And if a husband's not really around that often, imagine doing all that work and homeschooling your kids. Wow.
So valuable. It frees up my time, and the kids love it. They don't. I ask them all the time if they want to come back and me teach them. No, Mum, no. They love the interaction, and we wouldn't be there if the bus run didn't run. I mean,
they want to see other kids.
Travel 100k either way, So the bus run is vital, and I mean, the bus run's vital to keep the school going too. I think because there's only 2 children not on the bus run.
Have a good day, everybody.
Wow.
But it's not just remote families benefiting from the service. Faced with dwindling enrolments and concerned about the school's future, a small group of families and staff banded together in 2020 to try a new approach to draw in potential students.
It was initiated by the principal at the time to run a pilot bus program using a Barcoo Shire Council bus.
And here's the 3 precious cargoes more.
From humble beginnings, the pilot succeeded in luring in new students from nearby stations. And Grazier McCampbell said the next step was to approach the Department of Transport for a subsidised bus run.
The critical number there was to get 3 distance eligible families and 7 students to start that run. We were lucky enough we had 9 students, so we got the bus run initiated, and from then it's just grown.
As you can see, the bus has been a success, with school enrolments jumping from 3 to 17 since the service started in 2020. And none of these country kids seem to mind the 150 kilometre round trip each day.
That is a serious journey every day. That's like me. I say to people, for example, that work in London, why would you work in London? That is like your whole day is working and travelling, and then you don't have time to see family. But I think for these children that do that journey, it's worth it because they're seeing their friends. And the whole thing of homeschooling is great. You get sometimes more life lessons, I think, sometimes. But children want to be children, right? They want to play and run around and have fun with other children. So this is clearly vital. And if it can free up parents to actually have time to do their work, then that's a good thing. They want their children then to go to school. I would also say school bus drivers, I think, are some of the nicest people, right? Because they do it, they don't get paid much, and they do it because it's the right thing and it's a good thing to do. So they're always, well, I'm generalising, but normally they're such lovely people.
But as the dedicated group behind the bus found, it wasn't easy finding the right driver in the tiny town of less than 50 people.
That was a challenging part of it, convincing somebody to relocate to Stonehenge.
My precious cargo. I've called them that ever since I started driving the bus.
66-year-old grandmother from Warwick, Deb Porter, decided to give it a crack.
I fully understand that if not for this bus, that school would possibly be really struggling for students. The community and the school has never stopped thanking me for doing this job, but it benefits me as much as the children in the school doing this job.
Deb, who was a finalist in the Queensland Bus Driver of the Year Awards, says the experience has given her life more purpose.
That must be so true. Now, this isn't the case for everyone, and I'm not being offensive, I promise. But when you hit retirement and you stop working, you then have to find something to do with your life, whether that's a hobby or whether it's part-time work. And I really do think that this woman is awesome, because what she's done, she's doing a job that is fulfilling for her because it's helping these children get an education. So lovely.
Regardless of how one might be feeling, you've got to get up. You get up and go. And as you're getting older, mature age as they call us, it's nice to have that feeling that you're needed and that you're doing something that's helping somebody, and it does wonders for yourself and your mental and your well-being. I love those kids and the people and the families. It's been the best thing for me.
Stonehenge State School Principal Bridget Ryan says the classroom has plenty of benefits for the 5 families relying on the bus to get to school.
I think the benefits to being in our school is that they are socialising with other kids. At the moment, we're quite fortunate because we have a number of kids around the same age, so they are getting on quite well with each other, playing in the playground, and just listening to them laughing at lunch is just beautiful.
I don't know how they cope, though. In this case, they say that, all the kids are roughly the same age. But what happens in a school like this, where there's only enough for one class and they are a complete mix of ages? How the hell do you teach them? Because they're all learning different things at different times, and the older kids have already learnt that. That would be interesting to find out how that works.
Back on the bus, it's an approach working for these students, where a 2-hour round trip to school is worth celebrating.
Stonehenge Walker, are we ready? Up, wait, ever! Hoo-ah, wait! Stonehenge winners, can't you see? We'll swim and jump against the rest. Win or lose, we'll do our best.
Wow. Awesome. And that woman driving that bus, what an awesome woman, right? What an incredible story. It's a life that I don't think I would ever experience, because I don't think I could live in such a rural place. So I don't think it's a life I would ever experience. And as I said, it is amazing to think that in this day and age, there are still people as secluded as they are. But of course it makes sense, because you've got big cattle stations. A really, really awesome story to hear, and glad things are going so well for these children. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.